You're now listening to a Press Play Network podcast.
All right, man. Welcome to another episode of All Into Wrestling. This is the bonus show for Nerdflow Podcast where we talk about nothing but wrestling and headlocks and
Suplex City.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that
yeah.
shit's
The
over.
place I'm still.
That shit's over.
Suplex City. The place I'm still my supervisor for the pure stupidity that they always put me through. So yeah, I'm giving first a plane ticket, one way trip. So yeah, Suplex City.
But yeah, man, this is a Press Play Network podcast. Of course, please make sure you guys go check out our other show, Nerdflow Podcast. We got Hip Hop Rejects. We got Three Kings about to start back up. And plus on top of that, man, we got a lot of bonus shows that be popping off through the Press Play Network. So please make sure you go check out those shows, whatever you prefer, whatever you like. We got a lot of different things for a lot of stuff, different stuff for everybody. So make sure you go check it out. So on today's episode of All Into Wrestling, we're going to be talking about we didn't get a chance to do WrestleMania recap because one, it was just hella busy, hella hectic. So we're going to talk WrestleMania recap. We're also going to talk a little bit about the New Japan and ROH G1 card show, NXT TakeOver, of course. And we're going to talk some aftermath from WrestleMania, some stuff that's going down, some rumors that's swirling. And we're going to talk about the Aftermania and Superstar Shakeup, the debauchery that is from last night.
I can't wait to talk about that.
So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that as well. So let's get into it, man. So first and foremost, it's April. WrestleMania happened. All that good stuff. Man, what's your overall like standpoint on like the entire show?
If I could give that show a rating between 1 to 10, for me personally, how I looked at the show and comparing to other shows, I guess I'd have to give that show at least between a 7.9 to an 8.3. That's the best I can honestly give that show, and I say that mainly because I don't know. I don't want to see it say my expectation was I guess what's the word I'm looking for? I had them high, but at the same time, I didn't feel like they were met. I thought they were going to be especially met with Orton versus AJ. I didn't really count too much for the tag team championship, even though that was a good match. You did have some feel good moments though. Such as Kofi winning the WWE Championship and the celebration that followed. And that was actually, if anything, probably to me the best match of the night. The Iconics.
I said that'd be like the best. That was the best match of the night. So.
Yeah, and the Iconics winning, that was cool. The main event. Well, I'm bypassing a lot of stuff, but for those who didn't know the match results, the kickoff show basically was both the Battle Royales and the Raw Tag Team Championships,
and the Cruiserweights,
and the Cruiserweight.
Which by the way, going back a couple years, that's probably about 2 years ago. Which none of these. So for the Battle Royales to be I guess you could, even though they don't mean shit. But for them to be the kind of like a marquee type of thing that only happens at WrestleMania, and the whole debauchery when Aries and Neville went against each other and they didn't even make the DVD. So basically, you mean to tell me all four of these matches don't make the freaking WrestleMania DVD
card? It doesn't even make it ain't even on the main card. It's just like, keep in mind the Andre Battle Memorial back in 2014 was on the main card. And it was exciting then, especially with Cesaro winning, how he won. It's just like now it's just basically it's like a jobber's free fall, basically a jobber's free fall.
That's basically what it is. Like the Memorial Battle Royal needs to mean something. There needs to be something on the line. I honestly think the Battle Royale with Sweet Saudi Money coming up in June, which the greatest Royal Rumble, which the money that they pay out for that to pull people from out of retirement, Shawn Michaels. I like for us to have the Royal Rumble, the Memorial Battle Royal, the Battle Royal for the women that don't really even mean anything, and a trophy looks like a vagina, and they also have the greatest Royal Rumble. So we have 4 matches throughout 365 calendar year that involves over probably roughly 30 to 50 superstars to be in a ring, and Greatest Royal Rumble gets a green belt. Royal Rumble, you get depending on how Vince McMahon feels, you might get a title shot at WrestleMania if they don't change their mind by Elimination Chamber or Fastlane. And you got the Memorial Battle Royal, you get a trophy. You don't get dead. You don't get no type of. You get no type of. It needs to mean something. It needs to be like #1 contender for the WWE Championship after WrestleMania. You go against. You pick whoever you want to go against. Something, man. It needs to mean something. Everything needs to. It's just you get the trophy, and it's just BS.
That's it.
It's really just BS.
It just ends with trophy.
This is my take on the whole Battle Royal thing. I think they should do a King of the Ring leading up from started at the Royal Rumble.
Right.
King of the Ring. You see where I'm going here? Do a King of the Ring starting at the Royal Rumble, and it can culminate at WrestleMania, and you crown the champion. You crown the King of the Ring winner, and that winner goes on to face the champion after WrestleMania, the next following pay-per-view, which in this case, it would be Money in the Bank. They just freaking axed Backlash altogether.
And I was going to sit here and say this, man, refresh my memory. Now, 2006, Booker T won the World Heavyweight title after winning the King of the Ring. But I think, if I remember correctly, Booker. But I can't wait to hear this man say that again. Anyway, didn't it happen? I think because he won the King of the Ring. I think the finals was at Judgment Day. He went against Bobby Lashley because I remember him getting speared through the throne. So I think the following pay-per-view for Smackdown that year, I guess, was the Great American Bash, I believe. Yeah, and because I think King Booker, yeah. So yeah, you're actually right. Whoever wins the King of the Ring, or would you prefer them bringing back the King of the Ring pay-per-view?
I mean, for them to, we already have like freaking nothing pay-per-views as it is. At least we have a pay-per-view that actually means a damn, because at least with, at least the matches that'll be happening at the pay-per-view are all in relation to,
the whole thing.
Yeah, progressing to the next thing. Or even doing like, there's been rumors for the past year or so of them doing the Queen of the Ring, which will be for the women, of course. So,
nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, nothing in relation to that would probably end up being something that Triple H would end up probably spearheading, because I think he's keen on like tournaments and stuff and tournaments mean stuff. And we've been grown as wrestling fans to know that tournaments mean something. When you're trying to get to a particular goal, you're trying to crown a champion, or you're trying to see who's the best of the best, you do a damn tournament. And I think it just needs to be a thing. I feel if they do a King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, or whatever, if it were to be a thing to ever come back, it'll just be like a network special. Do like, a couple episodes or something like that, and that's probably what it would end up turning into.
Yeah, basically like the worlds collide going on. I still need to go watch that. By the way,
me
I
too,
ain't
man.
get a chance to see it.
I started I saw a little bit of some of it, and I'm like, man, there's some matchups on here that I never thought would ever happen with freaking main roster booking. But yeah.
What else happened at WrestleMania? Let's see.
The order of the show. Let's talk. Okay, I think the order of the show was the detriment to the show.
Yeah, because the first match of the main card after the kickoff was Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title.
Yeah. Rumor has it that Brock wanted to go on last, and since he couldn't go on last,
he wanted to get this done, which is what Paul Heyman said.
Yeah, he wanted to get it out the way and shoot. Probably by the time the next match was on, he was like, his ass was like at home.
Yeah, he was gone. So, and in a sense, I don't really too much blame Brock when you think type how Brock's schedule I guess worked. You know, he's always seen as like at least the marquee type of match. So since he already knows that he's not going to be on last or even close to last, hey, I don't see why not. Go ahead and get me out the way then. Like, you already know how this match is going to end. You know how this type of style Brock has nowadays is not the same as when he first came in.
Yeah.
So I can't really get too mad on it.
I know that it was the space, the slot that Orton and AJ had was the slot that Seth and Brock were supposed to be in. AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar was actually supposed to kick off WrestleMania. Which I think. You mean
AJ Styles and Randy Orton?
Yeah, Randy Orton. My bad. Who did I say?
You said Brock. I'm about to say AJ really fought Brock in Survivor Series.
I internally want to see that match again. But yeah, so it was supposed to be those two kicking it off, and I kind of feel that probably would have made the match probably better than what it turned out to being, the AJ and Randy Orton match. There was something going on in the crowd that I forgot that I heard somewhere, which is why.
Oh, the lights! I remember seeing
the stupid sunlight that was in the middle that was blinding everybody, and I heard people saying that they couldn't freaking see. They literally couldn't see the man. And even Randy Orton jumped on Twitter after the match and apologized to people. WWE did. Randy Orton apologized to somebody.
And that's crazy for Orton to do this. I ain't say Orton ain't
people gym bags back in the day anyway.
You know what I'm saying? It's weird because it's like, dang, if Orton has to come up here and apologize, like, come on now. No offense to Randy. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Randy.
We know Randy's track record.
We really didn't expect for Randy to do this. So, and like I said, and what you was just saying earlier about Randy and AJ should have went on first. Randy has been in matches before, like the infamous match with Seth Rollins back at 31 that was at the beginning of the show was a good match. So if anything, I would have expected Orton to go first anyway. But I would want to sit here and say, what was it that we just? Oh, let's go ahead and I guess get into the meat of things when it comes to WrestleMania. Before we get to the crowning moment of WrestleMania. Let's talk about, if anything, the first man out of the 2-day span of people falling in WWE, tripping and falling, going to the ring. Let's talk about the final match of Dave Bautista when he went against Triple H.
Bro, I thought he was drunk. I'm not gonna lie.
Everybody,
I thought he was under the influence. I was looking at his eyes because, I can't think of the ring announcer, but he was looking at him like. Because he just had this look, like, you had that look at that face when you look at somebody like, bro, what's wrong?
He was on the sauce. Hey, look, I kid you not.
It's like, Batista, you doing a Jeff Hardy now? You gonna wrestle the match all inebriated? That's what we doing.
And you gonna do this on the biggest show? Like, keep in mind, Jeff didn't do this on the biggest show, but Batista, I remember just watching it. I'm like, did this nigga just get into the ring? Nah.
That boy did not lift his leg. He must have had leg day. You know how when you do like leg day or arm day, your arms feel heavier than what they seem to be. He must have had leg day prior to, so his leg felt way heavier than he thought it was, and he thought he lifted it up, but he didn't, and so that's the reason why he fell. There we go.
Damn, oh my God! But But yeah, the match itself, I call it, in no disrespect, I say a parody match. And what I mean by parody match is funny. That's how I view the match. It was very funny. I guess you could say to me it was entertaining, but I say entertaining because it was funny because of all that happened. From Dave Bautista tripping in the ring to, the whole Triple H getting pliers and ripping off his nose ring.
Which he hadn't had in a long time, so we kind of figured something was up with that because he ain't want that nose ring. He been wearing that nose ring since he came back. So he had to make it. He had to legitimize the nose ring at least for like 4 weeks just for it to get pulled out of WrestleMania. I'm just saying it was a blue nose ring. It was so apparent. I mean, come on now.
I know it's crazy. I guess that was a throwback. That was a whole throwback to Dave Bautista. But and of course Ric Flair, he made an appearance in the match. He handed a sledgehammer, I believe, to Triple H, and there you go. Dave Bautista's last match. Like I said, I call it a parody match because again, this match is really funny. I would say out of all the matches that Batista and Triple H have had, that would be the one that's at the last match would be at the very bottom because they've had some very good matches that Batista has pretty much swept the entire feud between them two. And this match is probably the worst of all of the matches they've had together. I would say. Hey, it was his last match. And hell, you even saw Triple H in the match laughing at one point. So that's why I just sat here and said, yeah, this is a parody match.
Exactly.
So,
so the Usos, right? So the match they had was not, again, like we said in the beginning, it wasn't a bad match, but like they were pushing for the Usos versus the Hardys at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what everybody pretty much wanted. You even saw Matt put it on his social media that this will be a match that everybody would want to see.
Yeah, I'm like, and it's just like, of course, as they always try to do, I get y'all trying to get everybody on the show. I get that. I completely understand that and get that. But damn, man, it's like we were cheated out of.
You've seen too many of this.
Out of in a sense, a tag team, a singles, I guess you could say like a single tag team match that we could have had. Now, of course, fast forward a little bit, we got it the next night, and it was a good match. But imagine how the extent it would have been if we would have got it at Mania, or if they would have threw a ladder in that mix with and doing a tag team ladder match. That's what I was like when they mentioned. When the Usos were calling them out, I was like, give me a ladder match at WrestleMania with the Usos versus the Hardys. That's all I want.
Or a ladder or to be a TLC match or something, man.
Yes.
Like bro, like you would have I would have literally just salivated at the mouth just to see either Jeff doing a swanton or leg drop or anything off of a ladder leapfrog, or seeing one of the Usos doing a splash to one of the Hardys or both of them through a table, man. Because it's like, I know these two teams can do all this stuff and make a great match. Exactly. But, y'all doing the same formula that you did last year and the year before last when it comes to tag team titles on the main roster. You doing too many teams at once. Like, don't get me wrong, the whole thing in 2017 with the Hardys coming back, that was a good thing because, again, it was a left field type of moment, even if we did know they were going to come back. But still, the moment alone was great, especially it was a bit of nostalgia. But then you do it the next year with the Usos, who, for the first time, made it to the main card, and you had them losing to the Bludgeon Brothers. And it was just like, y'all got too many multi-man tag team matches at WrestleMania.
For y'all to not give a damn about half of the tag teams throughout the whole goddamn year, and then for you to like, oh, let's remember everybody and throw them all in one match together.
And it's just like, it's like, for the rumor of this being the longest WrestleMania ever, like, I'm pretty sure y'all could have lived up to that rumor and have a lot more time for all these matches You know what I'm saying? Like,
people could have definitely got more. People could have definitely got more time. I know Samoa Joe squashed Ray because Ray had like an ankle problem, so that's the reason why that match was like a squash. It wasn't really. It was like a couple seconds match just so Joe can have a match on WrestleMania, because he's missed WrestleMania the past 2 years in a row. Last year due to a stupid foot injury that happened in a nothing match against Titus O'Neil, and the year before that he just didn't get included. But he was in the Triple H with the whole Seth Rollins match.
And that's a damn shame, man. It took that long for Joe to actually get a marquee match on WrestleMania, and it ended just like that. Like, nah, I need to see a match from Samoa Joe just like back in TNA. Like, when he wrestled Kurt Angle at Lockdown that year to win his first world title in TNA. I need that Joe at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? I need that Samoa Joe. I need that hungry Samoa Joe.
Okay, I'm just gonna fantasy book something real quick.
Go ahead.
I don't know what the shakeup is gonna bring. I have a feeling they probably more like a Smackdown is tonight, and they always like to swap the mid card titles, United States title, Intercontinental title goes in there. They basically flip flop them typically most of the time. With AJ on Raw now,
Roman.
Well, I think the rumor is that Roman's going to SmackDown, which I ain't got a problem with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is, if Joe ends up going to Raw, we got AJ and Joe on Raw. Seth is the champion. Since we don't have, I'm reaching TNA style to Unbreakable.
I know you're going with
triple
this.
threat. We take
Daniels.
out Daniels and insert Seth Rollins. I think we could have the potential type of Unbreakable type match between those three individuals.
All right, now I'm not saying that the match alone wouldn't be bad, but I say it won't too much live up to Unbreakable, but it'll be up there still, because keep in mind when Unbreakable happened, every last one of those guys, they were still young. AJ was still doing moves that made us look at him like, this man literally lives up to his name, being a phenomenal AJ Styles. Samoa Joe was still that guy who, when we looked at him, like, he can't do all these, he can't do everything we think he can do, but he actually exceeded our expectations. Seth, he's still relatively young. AJ, in order for us to have that match, like I said, AJ has to really, whoever is limiting these move sets for AJ, they have to let him at least perform some of these moves, even though he hasn't performed anything like the springboard, shooting star press, or the spiral tap in a long, long time.
I think he hit spiral tap one time. It was and the spiral tap for him is like like every so often type of move, because I think he hit the spiral tap in the when he first showed up and he went against Roman Reigns. I believe he hit a spiral tap then.
I think so. I think he did. So, and like I said, we haven't seen the shooting style press, and that's one move I've been waiting to see AJ do in a whole hot minute, and we haven't seen him do that in a long time. We barely see the springboard DDT. We rarely see that. I feel like just some of the roster don't even know how to take that move, so they just don't do it just for the sheer of botchery that potentially could happen with it. Honestly, yeah, because I think Kofi took it. I want to say he took it somewhat bad, but now you see Xavier Woods doing it.
He did it from like the corner versus like the middle, like springboarding on it.
Yeah, now Xavier Woods, of course, knew how to take it, because I think AJ in a sense mentored him, but they already had matches back in TNA.
They had matches in Bound for Glory when he was with Tomko and stuff like that. So they went against one another with truth of consequences. But yeah, if anything, you still get a good quality match out of those three. But the thing is, they didn't. If they would have moved Joe, he would have been on the show last night, because it wouldn't too much make sense unless, of course, they want to keep this shakeup going for the next week. But it wouldn't make sense for Balor to go to SmackDown, and you have two of the mid card titles over there. And I think Balor should go to SmackDown, honestly. I think there's just some people that are just like play with like just how Raw is, that are just, I think what I'm thinking is like they're just, that 3-hour show is just a detriment to the matches that they have, because sometimes SmackDown can have a total probably
they're just 2 hours.
Have like 3 or 4 matches, and it's like a fantastic show. So I think
it's a 2-hour slot.
I think Finn should go, even though the Andrade and Finn Balor match was pretty good, and them going against one another. But it's I really would like to see him on SmackDown though.
I'll say this though: if he stays on Raw and AJ's down on Raw, it's like we get to see another clash between those two. I honestly feel this. Okay, so the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson. I pretty much merged their name just then. Gallerson.
Yeah. So like they're getting ready. They don't want to renew their contracts.
Right.
I think their stuff is up August, September, it's somewhere in the fall, something like that. So it's pretty much a lock that they're going back to New Japan or going to AEW. But you know how WWE does. They try to give people what they want when they know they're about to walk out on them. So if Finn doesn't move and AJ stays on Raw, if they move Gallows and Anderson to Raw,
do you think they could
form the Balor Club finally?
That would be hard because one, technically speaking, the star power with Finn and AJ, it's somewhat similar to how they were in New Japan. Out of that whole group, you have AJ, Finn, and Gallows and Anderson all together. It's like it was with Bullet Club back in Japan. Finn never won the IWGP Heavyweight title, whereas AJ did. So it's like that'll be enough to where.
But they don't have like. Okay, let's look at the landscape of Raw right now as the changes happen with the shakeup. There's not a lot of strong heels there's not a lot of strong heels for Seth to contend with. You know they ain't turning Roman because he got cancer, so that ain't happening.
Yeah, and plus he might be going to SmackDown anyway. So.
Right, exactly. So
yeah, more like
somebody. You got to put somebody on Raw because if either McIntyre staying or McIntyre's going to SmackDown, which I have more.
Truth be told,
strong feeling that he's probably going to SmackDown just so. Either he could feud with Kofi, and that would instantly be the way he could get his hands on the WWE Championship. Because I think right now Universal is just, probably not going to be him anytime soon.
Yeah, but how I look at it, it's like, well, Drew's already somewhat rumored to be winning Money in the Bank.
Right. So,
and yeah, you got a point. Depending on which show he's going to be on or stay on. Like, regardless, he's supposed to be winning Money in the Bank. So either way, it works out fine for him. Even if he does stay on Raw and win the Universal title, or he goes to SmackDown and wins Kofi Kingston's title. But at least for Drew, that'll be a full circle type of thing because it's like it's been years since he won. Well, he won the tag titles this past summer, but also he's been a former Intercontinental Champion. So. All Drew needs to do
is be a Grand Slam champion if he wants to get his WWE Championship.
No, not yet. He has to get the U.S. title, and for him to be the Grand Slam.
That's right.
Yeah. So he'll be a Triple Crown though. He'll be a Triple Crown. It'll be a good culmination for Drew McIntyre. But what were we saying before this? For heel for Seth, if Bobby Lashley stays, he's okay to be a good heel to feud with Seth because
we've seen that was Intercontinental Championship type stuff when Seth had it. We've seen that. Send Bobby to SmackDown. Let him feud with. I can't even think of no feuds for Bobby Lashley on SmackDown, but I'm pretty sure
if he goes to SmackDown, I say if he goes to SmackDown and Roman goes to SmackDown, they can fight each other for a little bit. I wouldn't mind them having a feud for just a little bit though.
Only if Bobby can get a win over Roman. You can't just be. Roman just can't be squashing people because he got cancer, man. That ain't fair.
Yeah, I about to say, Bobby actually had he had it at Extreme Rules last year. Even though the next night on Raw for a title at Brock's title shot for Brock's Universal title, Roman won, which in my opinion still didn't make any sense. But Bobby actually has a win over Roman that he can brag about. What else is what else? Who else can I was gonna say who do you want to see from Raw going to SmackDown?
Let's see. From Raw going to SmackDown.
Men and women.
Who the hell is Bayley needs to go to SmackDown. That's one thing that needs to happen. So back, because we're bouncing back and forth, but Bayley and Sasha, so they lost the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. There's been rumors going around that they were like upset. They were laying in the floor, pitching fits because they said rumor has it that they were promised a long title reign to legitimize the women's tag team championships. And so evidently Sasha has took a impromptu vacation to figure out. They gave her like a vacation so she can figure out what she wants to do, because supposedly her contract is still valid for a couple more years before she can even think about even wanting to go somewhere else, unless they allow her to, if she asks for her release, and if they wanted to grant it, then they could do so. But I doubt it, because they didn't lock those in. They're like, WWE is cock blocking AEW like it ain't funny.
Like it's, and the thing is, the interesting thing, Sasha actually unfollowed WWE, follows AEW,
right?
And it's like, and when you look at Sasha's title history, there's nothing wrong with her being mad, because I would feel the same way too. Every time I get my hands on a title, the reign is short. They just won these titles at Elimination Chamber, and now the next pay-per-view, they gotta drop it to the Iconics. Again, nothing wrong with the Iconics. I never say they wouldn't destined to win those tag titles. It's just, I would have preferred the Iconics to win this a little bit longer down the road, at least if not midsummer, early summer. It's like, at least around June. They could have won this in June. Let Sasha and Bayley have up to June to win,
or at least to SummerSlam, man. At least
that's fine.
Give it to at least SummerSlam. At least them to have a legitimate, what would that be from now to August? That's
a good reign.
A 6-month reign, and let them do what they said they were going to do, which is take the titles around all the brand. They could have had some matches in NXT. They could have had some matches on SmackDown, which they never showed up on SmackDown, but they showed up on NXT saying that, hey, we're gonna
take everybody on.
Yeah, we're gonna take everybody on. They could have showed up on NXT UK and fought some of the women over there. It could have been like so they can really show that, hey, this is not just a Raw tag team
exclusive,
right?
This is just for anybody who wants all this smoke. Because I was looking forward to these two women going up against people like what's the team with Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and NXT? I forgot.
They call them the Sky Pirates.
Sky Pirates. I wanted these two to come back healthy to do this match too. Team Fly Kicks with Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai. I wanted them to go at it. Then of course you have Shayna Baszler's friend Maria and Jessame. You had those two that could have went after it. That way it could have been at least like, that whole set. And honestly, I was expecting for Shayna Baszler to show up at least at some point this shakeup, because truth be told, Baszler's been down there since 2017, I believe, 2017.
Right.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, I feel like, what more can Baszler do in NXT that she can already just do on the main roster? Granted, I don't want them to like mess with her or anything like that when she gets to the main roster, and I feel like they're keeping her down there just to protect her a little bit longer. My thing is, to go back to what we were saying earlier, those are the matches I really was expecting for Sasha and Bayley to have, and I felt like they were going to be great matches, especially with the talent that was going to be involved in those matches. Because one, you send Bayley and Sasha back down to NXT and they can relive their NXT days through those tag title matches. I know those takeover shows would have been lit even more than what they already are. So, yeah, I honestly didn't want them to lose those titles anytime soon. And especially on Sasha's end, this is like a curse for her with every title she done held in the company except for the NXT. That's the sad part. The NXT women's title was the only title she had a good reign with somewhat.
Right.
Like, and it's sad that she gets on the main roster and this is how they view her when it comes to holding the title. She doesn't keep that title belt for long, and she's a face, not even a heel. She's a face. So I don't know.
It's the whole Sasha situation is like I'm like Vince doesn't see it, like everybody else sees it, but Vince does not see it.
And that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Come on, old man Vince, stop this. Go. You know what, Vince? This is a message for you. I don't care if you get mad or not. Go work on your little football thing. Let Triple H take over for once. Just let him take over. Like you're making people mad to the point where they are looking literally at the company that your son-in-law called a pissant company. That same pissant company is going to probably be the reason why a majority of your guys not stay in your company. Right. So exactly. It's like really, truth be told, and like I said, how NXT's looking, how it's handled, Triple H needs to just go ahead and just whoever is like the creative team over there needs to come up to the main roster and do something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion of the whole matter. And speaking of AEW, according to Jim Ross, their rumors are that it's looking at the major television deal. At first, I remember hearing that it's going to be on TNT and TBS, and some just said that it's going to be on TNT. So, what do you feel? What station do you feel like AEW should be broadcasted on?
That's a hard one, man, because with the whole thing with it being a former network that WCW used to be on, it's just it's a sour taste a little bit, because it's like, man, this is the same network that went, first they were all in for, no pun intended, all in to be, this wrestling company, because Ted Turner loved what he called wrestling, and then somebody else came in that could make decisions and said, nope, we don't like wrestling anymore, y'all are done. So it's like, I don't want that to happen to them, because because the thing is with WCW, when Eric Bischoff was running things, they had locked in a deal with another company to oversee, to take over, like the operation stuff of WCW and stuff like that, and they just got snuffed out, in which, of course, this man just followed up and bought them. So yeah, I don't really want it to be. I was hoping for. I mean, I know there ain't that many networks left around, honestly. I mean, USA, WWE, of course, which is an NBC Universal company, so that they're already snatched up with.
Can't do Fox.
Can't do Fox
because of Smackdown coming.
They got to deal with that. So I guess TNT TBS is really the only dog left in the in the fight. Honestly, when it comes to network, I don't think you want Viacom, because yeah.
All right, hear me on this. All right, now keep in mind, and forgive me for saying this. So, who owns like Paramount, the Paramount network that used to be known as Spike TV? And who owns FX? Because in my opinion,
I think FX is a Fox company. Well, it's a Disney company now.
Because I was going to see him say,
because with the whole Disney thing, I think they're owned by Disney / Disney / Marvel. Well, Disney, I guess Disney is the parent company. So yeah.
Because at first I was like, I wouldn't have mind them being on FX. That would have been incredibly something new. But again, like you said, like we said, SmackDown is going to Fox. But I still wouldn't have mind seeing them on FX, because at least it'll be, if they wanted to do some type of, even though I don't think AEW wanted competition, but it was something new, because you never saw a wrestling show on FX. Now, FX is known for having sports shows on there before, MMA, football, golf. They had those sporting events on there before, so it was like, especially for it to be like on the little late, I ain't gonna say late night block, but it would been interesting to have something like AEW in that time slot, like they had Archer and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and all that type of stuff. It was like around that type of time, like that would have been honestly dope, or at least a little bit before those shows air. That would have been, in my opinion, the greatest thing for AEW in terms of broadcast, because it was something especially different. But Paramount like I said, that was formerly Spike TV. That was also the home once for Raw and ECW when it was TNT, not TNT but TNN.
TNN, yeah.
So, you know, I would have said one of those networks. Don't put it on MTV. Whatever you do not put it on MTV. Don't do it.
No,
don't you do it.
Yeah, that's Viacom. They won't need another Wrestling Society X thing going on again.
That's what I was like. Don't you do it. So yeah, that's what I would have wanted it. I wanted it to go out to either those Paramount or FX. One of those two. Just to be different.
FX sounds like a very good. Sounds pretty good, honestly, too. Just with the power that Disney has, but you know, I mean, on top of that, with it being FX or FXX, whatever it would be, I don't know what the coverage, or FX would probably be the better one because it's probably in more homes than anything now. And with owning it, that would be like a pretty good thing because I know a lot of mature stuff is coming to that from the Marvel side, like Deadpool and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I think AEW that would also be a good fit too.
So
let's see here.
I said the last thing.
What's that?
Like with the fuse, with the shakeup going on and the fuse and whatnot, we can honestly see what fuse do you see or do you want to see from this shakeup?
Feuds. Let's see. I mean, we've had Roman and Daniel, which has also been very good, but they were both face at the time, and that was also a very good match. So I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get that. That's probably gonna be the first program that Roman ends up getting into, which is with Daniel Bryan because he's healed now. Trying to think what else. Let's see here.
Well,
that's like one of the main ones I can think. That's one of the main ones I can think of.
I say we said this earlier with Seth, AJ, and Finn. And, I would sit here and say if we don't get Joe and AJ and Rollins, we can have Finn, AJ, and Rollins, which would still be a great match in and of itself. But a feud, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get an AJ and Seth feud at some point. But also, I would, granted, it may be a mid-card feud, but I like to call this a standalone feud. I wouldn't mind seeing AJ versus Finn. It didn't matter to me if either one of them is a face and a heel or both of them are faces. But if I can just see at least a match, a marquee match, a standalone match, because honestly, it ain't got to be on a major pay-per-view. It can be a regular pay-per-view match or a Raw match, because some of those matches that ain't even on a pay-per-view match or pay-per-view card, my bad, or just one of those regular matches on Raw, it can actually still be a great match depending on what happens in it. So, and I have a strong faith in AJ and Finn putting on that great of a match, whether it's on Raw, on a pay-per-view, or a major pay-per-view like SummerSlam. Like, I have great faith they can actually pull it off. And, of course, you know, with Seth and AJ both in the ring, especially going for that Universal title, of course, I can guarantee that can be a good match as well. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing who AJ feuds with in the main title picture, or just anybody who can keep up with AJ or, you know, can match up with AJ.
Yeah, Ayos. Let's welcome these fools to the Uso Penitentiary. Hey! Okay, all right. Hey, let's get it, Us. It's not paranoia. It's the Usos.
Now, keep in mind, I didn't catch the whole show. But I did. But you know, the one thing that stood out of that show was Enzo and Cass.
Yes,
that was the one thing that stood out. So it was shocking to me, not because they invaded the show, but because they did it together. Because last I checked, I didn't think they were on good terms, especially when Cass got injured. He was saying Enzo didn't check up on me or anything like that. You know, granted, keep in mind, we all know pro wrestling, it's a lot different when reality hits. So,
And actually, in actuality, though they weren't. I think what kind of like hit home for like Enzo was when Cass had that seizure at the independent show, and he reached out to him, and he was like, "Life is too short," blah blah blah, and so I guess they mended the fences and got back together. So I guess, and the way that ROH did it, a lot of people say like they did it in a WWE-ish type of way, because ROH is more known for their match quality. They don't do very entertainment-ish type angles in ROH.
Yeah,
hardly ever. And if somebody gonna come out, then you're gonna get a. It was like I said, it was very WWE type the way they did it, with them coming out of the crowd and attacking the Briscoes, and people were wondering like, are they New Japan? Are they ROH? What are they? Because but it was at a ROH show. They attack ROH talent, so I mean, they're ROH pretty much for the most part. So
yeah, especially like I said, Enzo at first said he was done with wrestling. He was done. He was retired, and now here we see him not only at Survivor Series of last year, getting thrown out by the way, but he's at ROH with Big Cass attacking the Briscoes, and much as a summer thing, this coincided with what happened at the Hall of Fame with Bret Hart. And I'm glad he's doing okay, and I'm glad the fan got it taken out. But it's crazy.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, it was crazy how it coincided with it. Like,
yeah, it was kind of crazy that you had this one incident that was like super real with a wrestler getting attacked by a fan, and then you got the other two guys that used to be wrestlers acting as fans and then attacking wrestlers all at the same time at the same night. That's crazy.
I'm about to say, which one happened first though? Because like it'd be messed up if Brett got attacked first, and then at the show, RA show, they did it. It's like, hope y'all. I wasn't trying to piggyback on what just happened, but still, it's just very coincidental. I don't believe it. I think the RA show crowd attack happened, I say first, before Brett went on to accept his second ring, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart accepted his ring through Natalya. I think that happened probably first with Ring of Honor, but yeah, it was very coincidental. I saw so many people talking about it. It was like, this actually happened at the Hall of Fame. They actually cut it. They had to cut that part out of the TV just to get him out the ring.
Yeah, they had to go black on that. So yeah, new spelling for Enzo is Enzo, and Kaz is KZ. It's where they can get around the whole WWE, because WWE trademarks their
name,
their characters and stuff like that. Also, the Beautiful People debuted at RH too. With Mandy Leon. They attacked, I think, Kelly Klein, I believe, is who they attacked. Because evidently, when Madison Rayne was in ROH, rumor has it that she threw out the idea of bringing in the Beautiful People to the women's division, and Madison Rayne, she went back to Impact. She just debuted and returned to Impact like on this past broadcast a couple weeks ago. So that's kind of crazy that they just, we always said we're gonna bring in the Beautiful People, and we just gonna insert Mandy Leon, who's been like a mainstay in ROH for like a super long time. Okada defeated Jay White to be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion once again. Kenny King won the Honor Rumble. A lot of people feeling super underwhelmed by Kenny King's win in the Honor Rumble. I don't know, man. I like Kenny King, but it's like his back and forth of him in ROH more than anything, man. He has a lot of he's almost like I wouldn't say in match quality he's like a Dolph Ziggler, but he's almost like a Dolph Ziggler of ROH. He has a lot of stop and start pushes.
And that's the worst thing ever. I'm not even gonna lie. I hate that they that type of thing is real. Like I said, the first person who went through it is Dolph Ziggler. In a sense, he's still going through it. In a sense, I think he's still contracted with WWE. He's just doing a comedy show tour right now. But that's sad, man, because that thing is real. I haven't seen Kenny King.
I just want to say in the theme of the shakeup, Dolph Ziggler should go to NXT.
You know,
that wouldn't be a bad idea. Make him like a Cassius Ohno. He just go out there. So he gets some wins here and there.
He's the gatekeeper.
He's a gatekeeper. He is a gatekeeper for NXT.
And I ain't gonna deny the fact that he's gonna definitely put on a lot of great matches.
Hell yeah, because they have more. It's just because NXT it's because they have just more. They're not overseen by Vince McMahon. That's clear. That's
the thing. They're not overseen. On top of that, and on top of that, it's like in a sense, not that Dolph needed. You know, it's basically like the whole. It's like, you know, years ago, Jinder Mahal went down there. Of course, Drew came back to WWE through NXT. So, in a sense, if Dolph were to go down there, it's like he's getting more practice. For what he already knows, and at the same time, he can still reestablish himself being down there in NXT. So, if it could change his mind.
NXT does need some more. Not WWE, but NXT needs. I won't say they kind of do, but I feel they kind of need some more talent to go down there from the main roster that's not being used.
Shinsuke.
Use those guys to establish the guys who we don't know, or so they can get more practice in the ring with more vetted people, and so they can learn more. That way, by the time when they do, for whatever reason, get called up to the main roster, then, you know, they're good to go. Because I don't think it's a bad thing for them to be like, for example, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper. They should just go down to NXT. That these guys are too good. There's other people that are overshadowing them where they can't get the proper, you know, push or whatever the case may be, or just the opportunity they deserve. So just send them boys to NXT.
Let's see: Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Breeze, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Send Apollo back. Apollo came up too soon to begin with. I felt Apollo should not have got called up to begin with.
He got called up to 2015, right?
He wasn't down in NXT long at all, bro. He was not down there for it.
Yeah.
He was down there for a cup of coffee, literally. So NXT, and then we'll talk about the night after WrestleMania, and then we'll talk about the rest of the debauchery of the shakeup that we're gonna get to. Then we also got NXT TakeOver again. Fantastic freaking show from NXT. Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, 2 out of 3 falls match. Meltzer gave it a 5.5 stars? Was it?
Yeah, I think it was 5.5. And it's like, you can't tell me that NXT ain't better than the main roster, because NXT are getting these 5-star matches. And it's like, dude, it's sad. I know Vince. They said Vince doesn't watch NXT. Like, Vince, maybe you need to watch this.
You need to watch NXT because let's get this out the way, because I can't take it anymore. You need to watch NXT because you won't be naming teams that you felt that didn't have, like, you felt like they didn't have a name, like it didn't exist. So last night, Twitter went freaking crazy, man. The War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, have now become the Viking Experience.
Yes, a Disney ride.
Might as well be.
Come along for
the
Viking Experience.
It's a ride at Disney World in the freaking, oh my God, and then they changed it. I don't even know how to pronounce their name. I know one is Eric, and the other one is it's like Ive or what?
I thought it was Ivan. I thought the guy there was Ivan. I don't know. It could be different, but it's like, not only did you change the team name, you changed their individual names. Like, bro.
And if you go to WWE.com, I don't know if it's been changed as of overnight, but at the time that they did it still said War Raiders.
And aren't they still the NXT tag champs?
Yes, they're still the tag champs. Like they had like you basically giving these guys a fucking identity crisis at this point. They're two different people on two different shows.
Like, because it's funny if they show up tomorrow night on NXT and they sit here still go get called by the War Raiders, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm pretty sure Triple H is somewhere in the back just saying, "God damn it, Vince! No, please don't do this, Vince. Stop this. Give me my tag team champs back. I know you need people up here, but give me my tag champs back. Don't honestly, you do this."
Okay, with that being said, since we are on the whole NXT thing as well, and we can merge this into the because we've been jumping back and forth with this in the shakeup, but it's like, dude, it's like, why? First of all, why? Secondly, NXT does not have a lot of tag teams right now. They don't. They don't have a lot. And I know Triple H is like holding on to the Undisputed Era. Like, no, Vince, you cannot have these. You cannot have these guys. You are not
leave them alone.
You are not going to send the whole entire stable to 205 Live. You are not. No.
And more important, it's like now with NXT, they just recently signed Kushida. They just signed him. He's been signed. Don't know how long it's going to take for him to debut. You still have people.
Recently, there was a video that leaked on Twitter over the weekend. He recently just debuted in their last recording, so it shouldn't be that couple. Then it should be probably a couple more shows down the road. I don't know what frequency NXT records the show from live recording till it hits the network. But yeah, it's probably maybe a 3 to 4 week gap before we probably see Kushida debut in NXT.
Nothing wrong with that. Then who else they have? And then the other signings that happened before him that I don't think I haven't been keeping up with NXT, so excuse me, but I have yet to see. I follow these people on Instagram. You know, you still have people like she's engaged to Zack Ryder. She's out with a wrist injury though. Yeah, Chelsea Green.
Candice Green hasn't debuted yet, so we got her coming in. We got Rachel Ellering, which is Paul Ellering's daughter.
Trevor Lee, I believe that's his name. Trevor Lee.
Yeah, Trevor Lee is down there as well. Punishment used to be Punishment Martinez, but now going by what is his name? Damian Priest. He just had his name changed yesterday. Actually.
Oh my god. God damn.
I don't have a problem with the Damian Priest. He said the character's getting reworked a little bit, like the attire and all that stuff. Because he's tall, he may be the new
tall and deep voice.
Yeah. He may end up being our new Undertaker.
All right, now
I know it's a thing to not say that because that's what happened to
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt was supposed to be that guy. Also, Mordecai was supposed to be that guy.
That was another person I was about to say. Is a Mordecai / Kevin Thorne.
Yeah, was supposed to be that guy. So we'll see, man. I mean, he's agile and all that good stuff because I've seen a lot of his matches in ROH, and I was kind of like underwhelmed with him a little bit when he was in Ring of Honor, but I've seen some of his matches, and he's pretty good. And he's also appeared on NXT TV like twice. He fought Matt Riddle, and there was another match I think he had with somebody else. I think it was Keith Lee, I believe. But
I forgot ACH. He's down in NXT too. Yes. I forgot about him.
Man, you remind me of ACH. I just want to tell you that.
Who, me?
Yeah. There's something about you and ACH, y'all. It's like when I see ACH, I think snapback most of the time, man. It's just something about both of y'all are on the same wavelength or something like that. So
I have to I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see ACH versus Cedric Alexander so bad. I really do. I want to see him go against him if possible. If they don't, and with this shakeup, I like to throw this in there too. Every guy that is somebody that needs to be on TV, and I'm a huge advocate for Shelton Benjamin because I feel like Shelton still have a lot of years to go. Granted, we said before Shelton should go to NXT, but if he does go, before he goes down there, I need to see a Cedric Alexander versus Shelton Benjamin match if possible. But granted, Shelton, I guess, is still on SmackDown, I believe, even though Cedric's on Raw.
Supposedly. Supposedly.
That's what I'm saying. Supposedly,
there's some people that I found out was on Raw like a couple days ago that I ain't even freaking know. I can't even remember who the hell it is now. Tyler Breeze. I was watching the first beginning. They were showing the match lineup for the shakeup, not for the shakeup, but for the Worlds Collide, and it was like Tyler Breeze.
He represents Raw.
Like, when?
I thought he was on
SmackDown.
When's Fandango coming back?
When this boy get traded? Fandango's been training, man. I know he's supposed to be coming back sometime. I don't know. That's the problem with them having too many people, man. I know it's not Triple H's decision to make this call, but I think he should make the suggestion because there's been times that he said there's some people that should be NXT lifers, and there's some people like a Tyler Breeze. Fandango didn't come from NXT, but he could be one too.
He was still part of the development. He was still part of it, though.
He's part of the original NXT. But it's like there's some people that should just that's where they should be, man. They're mainstays down there. And I know they're not like older talent or anything like that, but it's just some people that should just like how I feel about Johnny Gargano, because I feel that if Johnny Gargano finally gets called up, I'm glad. It's almost a godsend that Tommaso got injured.
And I ain't gonna lie,
to save those two guys from the booking of that is Monday Night Raw or SmackDown.
Because keep in mind, if everybody who's listening to All Into Wrestling right now, if y'all need a refresher, keep in mind at the beginning of this year, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano were called up, kind of, sorta.
They were called up, and they were called up. This is also why. So let's transition into the Raw after Mania, Raw after Mania. I mean the Mania after
Monday night. Wrestlemania.
I said that wrong. Yeah, Raw after Mania and SmackDown as well.
You kicked the show off.
Some people say that it was a good show. It was just the ending, how it just fell flat because of who interfered at the very end of the show, which is the bar breaking up
the bar.
Thank you. That broke up the actual champion versus champion winner take all match between Kofi and Seth Rollins. In hindsight, a lot of people felt that it should have been Undisputed Era or some form of some stable or something, man. Somebody debut and, break this up. And we knew it was going to be a fuck finish to begin with. We knew that already. We knew they weren't putting the titles on either one of those two to have both championships. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But it was just the fact that the people that interfered that have been...
They weren't supposed to be on there.
Exactly. We like Cesaro. Don't get us wrong, but we know he's been stuck in tag team hell for the past 5 years. We know they ain't gonna do nothing with him. We've chanted and fought and rode and putting comments and all this stuff. We know they ain't gonna do nothing with him no more. It's just a fact of life at this point.
Wait, hold on. I got a question.
Yeah.
Is Chris Hero, aka Cassius Ohno, is he still under contract with WWE? Is he still in NXT?
I think he's still on an NXT contract. He hasn't showed up on any Raw, SmackDown, or anything like that. And I'm fine with that, honestly, because he's gonna get the.
Hear me out on this.
I feel Cassius would get the Kevin Owens treatment that Kevin Owens has been getting about his weight and stuff like that. Vince McMahon would just automatically go to the fact that you're fat.
See, and I hate that because keep in mind originally, and CM Punk had stated he wanted Cassius to actually be in the Shield, but again because of the whole weight issue, they pushed him aside for Roman. My thing is, it was at some point, I think last year or the year before last, I believe, at some point, Cesaro made a appearance in an NXT live show. And if y'all know your history very well, Cesaro and Cassius had a team called the Kings of Wrestling, I believe.
Yeah, it was Kings of Wrestling, yeah.
And it's like that was
with Sarah Del Rey, which is actually one of the trainers down at the Performance Center.
So imagine if we can get like a 2019 version of it, because I still believe Cassius can still move. He can still wrestle pretty good. Like that's the thing.
His weight is not a detriment to him. It's just that, but we just know Vince McMahon is gonna harp on that thing because he harps on that with Kevin Owens. Even though as great of a performer Kevin Owens is in the ring, he still harps on the fact that his weight is not what he would like it to be, and things like that. It's like if the superstar is healthy, man, like leave him alone.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, shoot, Kevin Owens is still able to do moves that we never thought he could do. So go ahead and let this man get his shine, because Kevin Owens is one of the best wrestlers that you have right now. And like I said, I hate that, NXT, especially when Kevin Owens first debuted, it was so big, it was great, and especially the type of person that Kevin Owens is when it comes to a microphone. I like I said, that's the type of stuff that makes me want to see him say Triple H just need to go ahead and take over this company from Vince. Vince need to go play with your XFL football type of thing.
So here's a rumor that's been going around. The rumor has it is that Kevin Owens might be joining Undisputed Era, and he's going to be the leader of the Undisputed Era. He's gonna bring them in, and he's going to be part of the group. SmackDown would benefit from this tremendously.
I'm not saying
because either this, or if you saw the ending of the Adam Cole Johnny Gargano match, like the behind the curtain, like right afterwards, Adam Cole stormed off, he's kind of because the whole Undisputed Era jumped in to try to help him win the championship, and they didn't succeed, and Gargano got the best of them, so he literally walked off from the group. So either they're splitting Adam Cole off from Undisputed Era, and say Kevin Owens gravitates and picks up the group and brings them in, and he leads the group. I don't know. Feels very Nexus like. I don't need them to do that though. I would just like for him to just join the group if it's gonna be anything.
Honestly, I'm not saying that wouldn't be a beneficial for SmackDown. That adds more star power to it. You put Undisputed Era on SmackDown, keep them on SmackDown. I would enjoy that more than anything, and have their run similar to how they were in NXT, whereas they come to SmackDown, they're this 4 men who really want to make a name for themselves, and they do it by any means necessary and however they want, and have that climb up the SmackDown ranks just like the NXT ranks. You have Fish and O'Reilly taking the tag team championships. You have Roderick Strong taking the U.S. title, and of course Adam Cole taking the world title. In my opinion, it seems just like how Evolution did it years ago, I guess, but at the same time, you putting on great matches, and I know all 4 of those men are very, very capable of putting on excellent matches for these titles. It's like I see a lot of storytelling that can come from them.
And WWE, the main roster needs stables. They need to have factions that exist, that stay together. New Day is a very, very good example of what WWE needs to start having. Stop breaking up tag teams just because you get a moment, Vince McMahon, of an idea and you want to split this person away from the group because you feel like, oh, let's give him a push. Let's just break up the group. And then
he's finally on.
Yeah, so do the whole thing like y'all did. Kofi Kingston and the New Day thing is a perfect example. I am so glad that they haven't thought of anything. There are not any rumors of Big E or anybody trying to turn on Kofi just because he won the WWE Championship. I am so glad that is not a thing that they're pushing for. Let them remain a group. When he does lose it, whatever the case may be, there's still a stable, there's still a tag team that exists. Because WWE needs tag teams hella bad, man. And that's another reason why I feel like 6-man tag team championships needs to be a thing. They need to merge those 2 titles from Raw and SmackDown. Let those champions, whoever the champion is, bounce from show to show, just like they're doing with the women's right now, and come up with 6-man tag team championships. Because you have guys sitting in the back that's sitting up with their thumbs up their ass, not doing anything, that are super talented. And if you already throw hodgepodge tag teams together as it is, shoot, throw some hodgepodge teams together and make them make them a 6-man team.
Trios tag team championship is
you do it half the time anyway when you do these freaking 5-man tags and 10-man tags and all this other stuff. just do that. Like, just put people together as a team of 3, and everybody gets TV time, because that's half of the problem. That's what a lot of the guys just feel like they're not being utilized. That want to be utilized.
They be sitting back there wearing their wrestling trunks, drinking coffee, like, well,
yeah, just waiting to be called. So it's
like, man, I don't blame people like Dean for splitting. It's like, you know, it's to a point where if I can't express myself creatively and I can't be used properly, I don't need to be here. I don't want to be here. But again, you lock these guys down in these contracts, and you got to wait till your contract expires to split. And it's just like, man. But again, like I said, this is Vince we're talking about.
Right.
Vince, again, just has to go do his own thing like he wanted to.
Yeah, he needs to go to the
man.
website.
70. He's in his 70s. Goddamn it! Like enough. There's nothing else for you to do, Vince. You literally you've conquered everything. All right, you bought out 2 of your competitions back in the day. What else can you do, Vince?
What else is there for you to accomplish? Honestly, so not at the WrestleMania type stuff. So honestly, let's be real. SmackDown and Raw were legitimately the same goddamn thing. Lacey Evans attacked Becky Lynch twice. First time, she punched in the face, and then she bounced back from it, and then beat her ass. And then the other one, the night after, I don't know what happened, but she evidently knocked on her ass the night on SmackDown. We had Lacey Evans walk in and out randomly for God knows how many weeks for her to finally attack Becky Lynch. Why? We could have easily. Was a give me, dude. She just defeated, in some debauchery,
Natalya,
Ronda Rousey the night before. You could have easily inserted Shayna Baszler. I got to get revenge for my homegirl now.
Thank you. That's what I was honestly waiting for at WrestleMania.
It's right there.
I was waiting for that at WrestleMania. Thank you for bringing that up. I was waiting.
That should have been okay. Now, here's what I will say. That should have been the ending of Raw. That right there. Because how they could have easily did the same exact thing they did with Seth and Kofi, but did it with the women. And Shayna Baszler put the NXT women's title on the line and had Becky try to collect her 3rd championship. It would have been it would have been so much drama for her to capture all the women's championships in all 3 brands.
And then that's what I was just like. I was waiting for Shayna, Jessamine, and Maria to all.
And Jessamine Duke and them, they could have came out like at the very end, which would have also brought out, because she's on Raw, it would have brought out Bayley and Sasha Banks. 6-man tag. There you go. You had your fuckery capture all the title belt match, and then could have turned into a 6-man or a tag team match that we actually gave a goddamn about.
It was like, if they couldn't have came the night after WrestleMania, I would have pushed for them to be there the night of. Because keep in mind, it was a triple threat match, and it was like literally no rules in it, no hold bar, anything goes, no disqualifications, none of that. I was really expecting for them to jump in that match somewhere.
Me too.
At the least, I really wanted them to be there. Yeah, because that was a huge WrestleMania moment.
Yep. I definitely felt that too. Like that, I felt that could have been a thing. I think if it wasn't for like because legit going back to WrestleMania, it was a botch on the behalf of the referee, with doing the full count and not checking to make sure the shoulders were down, because he literally could have stopped his count if he would have just looked at the shoulders. He would have been in position correctly, and wouldn't have botched the match, because the match was supposed to go a little bit longer. I think the original plan was for Becky to tap out Charlotte. I believe that's what it was. I believe that was the original plan. I believe so. But like, you transition Becky from just how Becky says it on Twitter to I forgot what she calls her, but she's like she basically calls us like Charlotte number 2, or like the Charlotte clone, because there's just another blonde chick that's trying to. It's like, because Vince McMahon has a thing for blondes, and so he just puts her against another blonde. He could have easily inserted Shayna Baszler right there. It was given. And they could have, like, that whole 3/4 of the Four Horsewomen could have been feuding with Charlotte, Becky, Sasha throughout the majority of the year. They could have had different matches throughout. They could have been feuding. That is the women's feud of the year
that we want.
And they could have feuded the entire year. And then insert Ronda Rousey when she comes back from her impregnation vacation, which is what she called it yesterday. When she comes back from her impregnation vacation, they could have literally Ronda Rousey.
Four Horsewomen
versus Four Horsewomen. Done.
That's all we really wanted. That's all I said before in the previous episode. I wanted this match to happen. I've been waiting for this match to happen. You have all four of these women under contract, and you got to make sure Sasha's okay because one, she's really about to leave. But still, if y'all can,
that feud that would have that guaranteed that feud that would have kept her if they would have initiated that feud. That would have kept her. And
in a sense, they still can. It's just like I said, you pissed her off. You got to give her time to cool down. Bayley probably I'm pretty sure feeling the same way. It's like you got to get these women because one, you made Bayley job to Alexa Bliss. The night after WrestleMania.
And Bayley was supposed to be the freaking John Cena of women.
Yeah.
Let some people tell it. She was supposed to be the John Cena of the women's division. Always, positive and winning and stuff like that. That's what she was supposed to be, but.
Yeah, and it's just like, man. So, in a sense, I'll say this feud with those two women, those two horsewomen stables, I say it's somewhat salvageable. I'll say that. If I say that word right, you can still have it. It's just there's a lot of one making up to do. Two, it's like we said before, time because Ronda wants to start a family. And three, it's great. You have to make the right decisions on this, and you got to make sure everybody's on board with this and they are okay with this. Like make sure everybody's happy when it comes to all this. Because like I said, I still want to have this match, and it still is a match that can be had. I've been waiting for this match ever since all of them signed, and it's just like this been teased before. I think at the first Mae Young Classic, it's been teased. Yeah. So
they know it. They know it's a thing, man. And it's like,
come on,
if they would have did those two, and I almost feel like Vince McMahon held off on a lot of stuff. Well, it don't seem like it right now, honestly. But I felt like the shakeup kind of made the Raw after Mania suck, and SmackDown, because they're holding all their cards for the shakeup. All the people that's supposed to be announced, where are they going, all this type of thing. They held it. It's like, just make the shakeup right after Mania. You should have just announced it like in February that the shakeup is going to happen after WrestleMania. That way you can kill two birds with one stone. You can have all your debuts and the shock moments, and you also shift the people back and forth. Anybody can show up on Raw or SmackDown the night after WrestleMania because it's a shakeup going on, and it would have been a great show. But they sacrificed the Raw after Mania for the shakeup, which in hindsight, with them changing people's names on the fly, ain't really making it that much great of a shakeup to begin with. But we'll see tonight we'll see tonight on SmackDown. Let me see. Is there anything else we need to? I think we kind of covered the last couple of weeks of things that have happened in wrestling. I think, and it's one show. We're about to hit an hour and 30 minutes real soon.
So,
what's up?
Now that we have the biggest show of the year out of the way in terms of WWE, you do have what's the name of the show? Double or Nothing for AEW.
Yeah, you got Double or Nothing.
Okay. What are our expectations for the rest of the year when it comes to these next big shows? You have Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules, SummerSlam, and of course.
Let's see, Money. Okay, so we just do the big shows because the in between shows, how they book these in between shows, they shouldn't even, the way they book them, they shouldn't even just freaking happen. They should just not even be a thing to
evaporate.
Yeah, exactly. So Money in the Bank. My predictions for Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre, yes, for the men's. For the women's, I'm trying to think who is somebody that is deserving. Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott is one of my favorite, but they job her ass out like it ain't funny.
I say if not Ruby, because I love Ruby too. If not Ruby, I say Sonya. Sonya because
they are pushing Sonya pretty. They're teasing like the breakup between her and Mandy. Which, real quick, on the women tag teams, the Iconics ain't got nobody to go against because last night, freaking Natalya was going against Lacey Evans. Where the hell Beth Phoenix at? They supposed to be a tag team.
I think.
Like, was that a one-time thing just for WrestleMania?
I believe that's what it is. I think that's what it was.
That's some whole shit right there, man. I'm just saying.
Because I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what Becky has outside of work. I know she did something outside of work, but Nia has ACL surgery on both knees, so she's gonna be out for a long time. So so her and Tamina ain't even that tag team. So it's like. And then you got Sasha and Bayley upset, and Bayley got her butt with not the WrestleMania, and Sasha wasn't even out there because she's upset at the whole situation that happened with Mania with the belts. It's like y'all have Carmella. Carmella's she's on her own on SmackDown, other than with R-Truth. Naomi's on Raw. Yeah, don't know where Ember Moon's gonna go.
She's cleared now, so she's back. She was in the Women's Battle Royal, so Ember Moon is back. I think. Wait, I don't know if you know Lacey Lane, right? That was in the Mae Young Classic.
Yes, I know her. I love her.
Her and Ember Moon should be a team. Should definitely be a team.
I ain't gonna lie.
They got the whole cape with the hood on type thing. That's
I was gonna say if we can have. I know we said this earlier about the trios belt, but if they ever have a women's trios belt, I want her, Naomi, and Lacey. Ember, Lacey, and Naomi to be a team. A lot of colorful hair that's going to be flying around that ring. But all those women can. I've been wanting a Naomi and Ember Moon match for the longest. I need it. If Ember stays on Raw, I need y'all to make that match happen, please. More importantly, if Ember goes to SmackDown, like I said, if Lacey does get called up, cool. Let them be a tag team. That'd be dope. If not, if Ember's on Raw, let her and Naomi be a tag team.
This is one thing I gotta say too, because I got a like from Sasha on Twitter for this one.
Look at that man bragging.
I need when Bianca Belair gets called up, and if Sasha's still with the company, they need to be a tag team.
Oh yes,
they need to be called the Bossiest -EST.
Bruh,
it's money.
That is so dope. That honestly, because we haven't had a heel Sasha in years. The last time you saw her as a heel was somewhat the beginning of 2016. After that, she's been a face. She has not been a bad guy.
That's been the problem with the booking with her. It's like you're trying to book her. Okay, Miz is a perfect example of being a heel for so damn long that now he's freaking over his shit as a face right now, going against Shane McMahon. Because the whole damn feud looked like it just got drafted to Raw with him and Shane McMahon.
Look, I'm gonna say this. This is the second time Miz has gone face. The first time,
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that was in 2013. I remember because he won the Intercontinental Championship from Wade Barrett at WrestleMania 29. They had him go face around that time, but he went heel by at least probably the fall of that year. And now, like I said,
that probably didn't work because Wade Barrett was too over with the bad news gimmick. It was even though they tried to make it to make him a heel, saying, "Oh, I got some bad news." People when people start chanting with your stuff when you're trying to be a heel, it just don't work. You just instantly gonna be a face.
I miss Wade Barrett, but even with I still want Miz to be who he is, who he was as a heel, though. Even though he's a face now, I want him to still be. I want him to have that mic experience that he has as a heel.
UK would be right now if Wade Barrett would have stayed. They would have sent him down to NXT UK, and then also had Neville go down there too. They would have still been signed. Man, NXT
oh my God, that would have been so lit. It would have been so lit, especially you have Wade Barrett as UK champion.
Wade Barrett versus Walter.
And with UK being up here on the topic, do you see Pete Dunne on SmackDown tonight? Because I think it was rumors that they want him to be moved up as well to the main roster.
I don't know, man. I think he still needs to stay around with NXT UK because I still want to see British Strong Style versus Gallus. I really do. It's either going to be that or either I have a feeling that what's his face? What's the guy's Fabian Eichner and what's the other guy's name? Can't think of his name right now. God dog it. But Eichner and the other guy that's with, I can't even think of the tag team right now. Him and Walter, I have a feeling they're gonna do. I have a feeling they're gonna do a trio. They're gonna join up together because when Walter first showed up on NXT UK, he had just beat like a bunch of members of Gallus and stuff like that. And they kind of gave him a pass because I think if I remember correctly on the Indies, Walter had a stable with him, not Eigner but the other guy and Tim Thatcher. They were all in a group together. I think there was like I forgot what it was. I forgot the name of what the stable was called. But just because they all dress in black and stuff like that, and then with with Walter, and when Walter turns heel, I have a feeling he's going to join those guys. I really do. I really feel like that's going to be a stable in NXT UK, along with Gallus being a team as well. I think that's it, man. I think we this is probably the longest All Into Wrestling we've had. We had a lot of stuff to cover, man.
Gonna throw this last thing in for those that don't know. Reason why I said Pete Dunne's legendary UK title reign has finally come to an end. Hands, Walter, if you didn't know or haven't been keeping up. But yes, his reign is unfortunately over. 685 days as a champion.
Man, we didn't touch on that match, but that match was that was a
brutal
hard match. Yes,
I went back and watched it. I was like, God damn,
that match was a hard hitting match, bro.
Look, I would have been in the crowd asking Walter, "Hey, Walter, how your hand, bro? How's your hand, bro? Can you grip the doorknob? Do you need ice?" Because I know that man. I'm like, man, Pete. I could never just wrestle Pete Dunne. I'd be scared of my fingers, yo. Yeah. I'm scared of my fingers when it comes to Pete Dunne.
Shoot, any of those UK wrestlers scared of your fingers. All right, man. We're gonna wrap this episode of All Into Wrestling. We will catch you guys for another bonus episode of All Into Wrestling, and we're gonna try to potentially try to incorporate some of the stuff that way we don't have. I mean, I don't mind these super long shows to talk about everything that's been happening in the past couple weeks in wrestling, but try to cut it down a little bit. But I'm okay with this format as well. So, but we'll catch you guys next time for another All Into Wrestling. Also, like I said, you can also hear us both on Nerdflow every single Sunday. So you can check us out on there. Shows hit the download services on Mondays, so you can check us out on there. And yeah, man, we out of here.
And also, for those in the Texas area, don't be afraid to visit us at Comapalooza because we will be there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, y'all be sure to come by and say, hey, talk about wrestling if anything. So, yeah, you see us there, you say, hey, and bring Cinnabon. A lot of Cinnabon.
Just bring food. That's all you gotta do.
No, Cinnabon. That's life.
Okay, Cinnabon and other foods. Okay. We out of here.